out here on the planet, and welcome to another episode of the Barcelona Marathon training program. So today we are down on the quayside with a very cold -3. Where can I put this camera in a decent place? And we're going to run what I've been looking forward to for a while is a varied pace long run. So, but we're also going to do it in the Adizero Boston 12. So, it's crazy, it's -3, the sun is blasting, there's probably not too much wind, but hopefully I can avoid the icy patches, so we'll see what it's like. Hopefully it's more like a white frost that we're going to run on, it doesn't turn it the most kind of slippy ice, because it's going to be difficult to continue on with a very place run. But today's run, before I show you the Adizero Boston 12, just calling them the Boston 12, should I? Let's just tell you what the workout today is. So the workout, because it's quite complicated, it's not the big one that I was thinking about. That's actually due in probably next week or the week after. But today's workout's pretty tough. So 3k warm up, which I've already done that at home. Then 3k at 4:22 per kilometre pace, 3k at 5:20 easy pace, and then 3k at 4:16 per kilometre pace, then another 3k easy at 5:20. So that is pretty much today's workout. Pretty tough. Marathon goal pace is in there around about sub 3 hour marathon, just a bit slower than sub 3 hour marathon pace. But obviously this is the early stage of a training block that I'm kind of partially following, not fully following. So it's going to be a good workout, and for that I'm going to do that in the Boston 12. The second, so that'll probably do about 15 kilometers, one lap of the quayside. So the second lap that I'll do on the quayside will be my normal run, where I would normally do 3 times 10k at marathon goal pace. I'm going to go for about 8k or 10k within about a 12-13 kilometer stint, maybe a 15 kilometer stint. But at 4:30 per kilometer pace, because I'm just kind of, I haven't really got into these big, hard, fast, long runs just yet in the training block. So that's more going to be, as we go. Actually, because I've got the Newcastle 10k, which I'm looking forward to doing that, to try and break that 40 minutes in the 10k. It might be a bit of a push this time. I haven't really done a lot of training for it, but again, all my training for the 10ks and even the half marathon comes off the back of marathon training. I don't really do a lot of specific 10k stuff, but we're quite close to breaking that 40 minutes, so I'll be having a go at that. But yeah, let's show you the Adizero Boston 12. So there is the Boston 12. I've had a couple of runs in this. The kind of workout runs I've done has kind of been like, I did an easy 5k pace run that had some pickup to kind of my old marathon goal pace, so about 4:30 minutes per kilometre. And that was okay. It felt like it was pretty hard, pretty tough. There's 2 foams there. There's a softer foam, which is the Light Strike Pro, and then they've got the Light Strike 2.0, which is the stuff of it where you've got more of it at the back, so softer stuff at the front. There's obviously a 2-layer setup there with some fiberglass rods on the inside. What I really like about testing this shoe is that it's a 7mm drop. My shoes are always either 5mm drop, which is typically like what you get with the Hawker or the Asics, or the Vaporflies or the Alphaflies, which are usually around about 8mm drop. I've never tried anything between that range, so I'm just wondering if 7mm is slightly better for me than 8mm, and do I even notice it? Actually, by standing in them and working it, it feels a lot less than 7 against an Alphafly 8. It's really strange. They're very hard at the back, but I get out and do the run, and I'll come back and tell you what I think about the shoe. Let's get to it. -3. I like the cold back, but this is ridiculous. Oh, feel my nose, my mouth, my lips freezing up. So that's the first part that I've done, 3k at 4:22. So the reps came out as 4:16, 4:19 and 4:22 for those. First one was a bit fast, but that was downhill, and catch my breath. And it's quite tough in this extreme cold. And I'm sure I need more energy when it's extreme cold. I mean, nice and cool is ideal, but extreme cold's much more of a challenge. Don't know what heart rate it was, but it was up there, I'm sure. So this bit now is 5:20. So I need to pick up the pace for this bit. It should be 5:20, just coming over this challenging bridge bit. Not to say challenging, but it just slows the pace down too in these tight corners, up and down. And then we'll get going for the 5:20 for 3k, and then that 4:16 for the last one. So talk to you in a bit. Woo, let's go. Just had a gel. I'll have a gel at the end of. I had a gel at the start, had a caffeine one for the morning, and then I'll have a gel 100 at the end of this 3k stint, 5:20. Whoa, let's crack on. Okay, so that is the stint, the varied stint of 4:16 per kilometre. So first one came out at 4:17 and 4:18, and the last one was 4:30. So a bit of a challenge for that last stint, but the first one was alright. Second one was quite good, thereabouts. A bit of uphill on the third one, coming up and over a bridge again, but that's okay. But to be honest, it was more fatigue in the legs, I think. But it's good to be running 4:15 per kilometre at 4:16, 4:17, 4:18 per kilometre at kilometres 5 and 6 in a rep, which I've never really done that before. That's actually wrong. What about the gates at 10k last year, where we were running close to 4 minutes per kilometre for the whole thing? And there was the Manchester in October, where we were running at 4:15 for 21k. So you can see how, or I can see how that is going to build, and I'm going to be able to hit that sub-0 marathon pace in my long runs. So going out the 3k, probably 5k when I get back to the car now. Cool, 5:20 pace. Not cooling down, easy pace, and I'll switch over to the Vaporflies for that last stint of about 8 kilometres or 10 kilometres at marathon goal, old marathon goal pace, so before 30 per kilometre, not 4:15. And then after that we'll get back and we'll talk about the difference between the Adizero Boston 12 and the Vaporfly 3. Okay, if my lips are still moving at that point. I'll see you in a bit. Woo. Workout complete. What a workout. There you go. That is just to let you know, that is the best coffee in Newcastle as far as I've ever tasted. So the Sicilian cafe, the Italian cafe, just down here on the quayside. Beautiful coffee, slow drip, takes a while for them to make it through the barista machine, very, very slow make, but the machine there is massive. And then finish off with cream as well. Beautiful. Or is it just because I finished a hard workout on the run? So 33 kilometers with, actually let's get the phone, let's get before we talk about the shoes, I'll talk about the run first. So how are we going to look at this? Okay, so we started off this morning with 2k warm up at home, and then down on the quayside another case, so 3k warm up, and then in at the first stint, so that was 13 kilometers coming out 4:58 per kilometer. So that was the complicated workout, which was 3 kilometers at roughly 4:22 pace. So we're giving it, I think it was 4:17, 4:19, and then 4:22. I think so. That was really good. And then 3 kilometers at around 5:20 pace. So that was easing off a bit, and then picking that back up to 4:16 per kilometre. So according, actually Strava's a little bit different to the Garmin, but I think it was 4:17, 4:19 and 4:30 is what we said on the Garmin. It's 4:18, 4:18, 4:31. So the last 1 kilometre of that stint I struggled a bit, and then it was another 3 kilometres at 5:20 pace. So I come out on averages around about 5:30, 5:35 pace on that. Just maybe took it a little bit too easy on the end, but that was more of a kind of a cool down, so that was quite good. And then, so that was a prescribed workout. So the workout that wasn't prescribed was another 1 kilometre easy. That was me running up the hill, and then from the hill, where it's probably half a kilometre downhill on that, was basically me trying to run 4:30. So last year's marathon goal pace, for somewhere between 8 and 10k, and I actually managed 11k, so I'm really happy with that. So they were like 4:37 to start with, 4:42, 4:34, 4:31, 4:35, and then at the end 4:31, 4:31, 4:27 and 4:25. So really happy with the pace, and I think that doing that structured workout actually made that second stint that I've added into the workout much easier to do. After that I did a 5 kilometre cool down, 6:30 minutes per kilometre pace, very, very slow and easy jog to finish it off. So all in all 33 kilometres today, which I'm really happy with, because I'm getting back up to, since I started this training block, I haven't run anywhere near that distance. As long as it runs about 25 kilometres, so we're now up to 33, so I'll be getting back up to 40 kilometres before long, probably by next week. Right, let's talk about the shoes that we wore today. So I split the runs up on the recording it. So for the first lap of the Quayside, I wore the Boston 12. They do feel a little bit hard, although after three runs and 3 workouts in them, they are starting to soften up a little bit. So it's been a long time since I bought a pair of shoes you actually have to break in. The heels, if you're running on the heels, they're way too hard for me. I don't like that at all. It's just too tough, probably because I've been spoiled by the Vaporflies for so long, and they're much softer compound. But the front of the shoe is really, really good. So when you're picking up the pace, you tend to fall more on the front of the shoe as well. So most runners find that, and pretty much the most of that. So you've got a good 20-25 mil of like really, really soft foam at the front. The flatter you land, the better it is. So I kind of like land on the outside a bit and roll in, pronate inwards. If you can kind of force yourself to land very neutral, very flat at the front of the shoe, then it's even more cushioned. So it's really good for the workouts, and good to hit those, kind of paces, 4:15, 4:10 per kilometre. Not too difficult to hit the pace. It's just the durability of your bones and your joints over 30 kilometres. I wasn't relishing the chance at all of running 30 kilometres in that. Probably the most, I'll have to see how I get on with it, but the most I'll probably ever do in these shoes is about 20 kilometres, I would say. I don't know, we'll have to see how they, as they get older, as they soften up a little bit, I might be able to run a bit longer in them. So the second stint I ran in the Vaporfly 3, amazing. This shoe's got probably about 300 kilometres on it now. It's still in its prime, it's fantastic. It's got a carbon plate, whereas the Adidas Boston 12 has fiberglass rods, not carbon rods in there. Price difference is, this is £140, this is £240, so £100 difference in the UK. So there's so the massive difference, but there's that many Vaporflies out there on the market, on the Nike website, sports shoes, other companies selling these shoes. I hardly ever buy these at full price. I'm usually getting them 20-25% discount, because I keep an eye on them when they're coming out. The last pair I think I bought were 40% off or 36% off or something like that, and I usually tend to go either a size 8 or 7.5. The other ones are 7.5. So when the size and the stock's running a bit low, you can get these cheaper. So you can kind of get these for about the same price as these. It's good to try. I wanted to try the Adidas Adidas shoes for quite a long time, so it's good to try different shoes. However, I don't think they're the kind of shoe. I'm not sure I'll probably go and buy these again. We'll see how I get on over the next 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers in them. So I'll definitely do some workouts in them, but it's just going to be the shorter stuff. And I'm yet to try it at the track, so that'll be interesting now. But the 7mm drop in them isn't that fantastic. In terms of, does it make a difference to me? No, it's about the same as the 8mm, but it's not bad. I can get on with it, so 7-8mm, no difference. Apart from when you're walking around in the shoe, it does feel like, for whatever reason, you're falling back in at the heel. Even with that harder foam at the back, for some reason, it feels like you're kind of leaning back in the shoe, which is a little bit strange, really. I don't think the fiberglass rods actually make a difference. They might stiffen the shoe a little bit, which actually they probably need to soften up for me a little bit anyway, so I guess that's going to happen over the next 100 kilometers or so, next more few runs. But it is responsive, definitely a responsive shoe, and it's not bad for, you know, for the price. I think you could do most runs that you want to do in them. Would I buy them again? I do not know. We'll have to see how it goes over the next 100 kilometers, maybe 200 kilometers. I think they will last. They actually felt grippier in the ice, with that continental grip on the bottom, and the frostier sections, than the Vaporfly did. However, I don't think, and I think they were going to be a lot more durable. However, I don't think they're going to be much better in the wet. It seems like a harder rubber than the rubber on the bottom of the Vaporflies. So I think the Vaporflies are actually going to be better in the wet conditions. Okay, so that's it. Not a bad shoe, probably 7 out of 10 I give it for now. It's a good shoe. I think that's it for now. Really good workout, good to get the kilometers back up to 32, 33 kilometers where I want to get to when I get to 40 kilometers again soon. Next week we are racing the Newcastle 10k, so we're really looking forward to that. Okay, so that's it for today. So thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next week at the Newcastle 10k. -3.